Good evening, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Inbaal. I'm live here on Bigfoot Outlaw. We are a whole little network of esoteric programming across several platforms. I'm a psychic, I'm a tarot reader, and a witch, and I have this psychic development show on once per week. And I also have another show on a Thursday with my lovely friend Laura, who is also a very gifted psychic. I hope you'll join us and get to know us a little bit better. I'm broadcasting from right here from my home in the UK. We broadcast to a wide international audience. Right now, we are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Instagram. Shout out to all the platforms. And you can get involved by adding a message, commenting below the video in almost all of those platforms, except for, unfortunately, Instagram. Instagram, which is my favorite platform, is unfortunately the one that doesn't let me show the messages. So if you send a message, you'll be able to get your message put on the screen like Robert just did. So he is saying hello, and he's also saying, how are we all? Great question. If there's any specific topics that you'd like for us to look at, I've got 2 decks of tarot here and a few others in the book in the box over there. We would love to get into it. This is the first show for February. February is the month of Valentine's, but not only. During this February, we're going to have Valentine's slash Lupercalia. If you want to talk more about that, no problem, no problem. And we also have the Chinese New Year coming up, Year of the Horse. And we've also got the first Mercury retrograde of the year turning up a little bit later in the season. So lots more on all of that a little later on. Let's welcome everybody who's joined in. Incidentally, once we have gone live, you can catch up with us. You can watch us not live, dead. You can watch us and you can listen to us on podcasting platforms and streaming platforms. Sorry. I saw Rob's message come in, and I thought screaming was appropriate. Streaming platforms. So if you're catching up with us a little bit later, don't hesitate and reach out. You can find me on Instagram as Inbaal Psychic and all the other platforms, but Insta is the easiest way to get in touch with me. Cam is saying hi, Inbaal, loving the hair. You look so beautiful. Love, Cam. Thank you so much. I couldn't figure out what to do with the hair. I'm oiling it. This is actually thanks to Tor's advice. I'm oiling it at the moment with rosemary oil, like regular one, not like special one, with rosemary oil from Holland and Barrett, like regular. But I can't really heat treat it when it's covered in oil, or it'll fry right off. So I thought I might do this. I'm pleased that it's doing all right. Rob is saying, Bal, how are you? Tell us. I'm all right. I'm still a little tired. I was up all night Sunday night, watching the Grammys live and writing body language commentary for it. So quite a bit of it ended up in on Showbiz Cheat Sheet, OK Magazine, and a couple of others. So quite a bit of it is doing the rounds. So I've tried to kind of sleep it off, but it takes a few days before a missing night is, because how are you? I know that you were up very, very late last night. Tor is saying hello, etc. And he is greeting his Team Yu Ying lover, which is Rob. Not really. Tor is happily married. Taurus says, don't try me with this Merc retro. I'm not in the mood. And echoing it is his little wifey, Rob, saying, not Mercury retro. I legit can't take it. So, do you know what? I think let's call it our first topic. I'm going to pull up just on my screen because I don't know how to share a screen. I'm going to pull up the ephemeris and we're going to go through all the intimate details of this Mercury retrograde because forewarned is forearmed. If you've got the information of when the Mercury retrograde is coming up, what signs it's going through, who it's going to affect, then you're going to feel much more well prepared for it. So let me know that you can still see me, you can still hear me. Um, I'm assuming you can. So on February 26th, UK time at 1:48 a.m., Mercury is turning backwards. When we say Mercury retrograde, of course, it doesn't mean that a planet starts to go backwards. That is impossible. The whole world would collapse. Thank goodness it doesn't actually happen. But what does happen is that all the planets do their own thing and we look at them from Earth, right? So far, you know that. But the speed and direction that Earth goes and the speed direction that Mercury goes, or any of the other planets, means that at times they appear to our eyes on Earth as if they're going backwards, although they're not really. So, 26th of January, Mercury is going to be in, I want to say Aquarius, is that right? No, unfortunately, much worse. Mercury is going to be in Pisces. Sorry, it's in Aquarius right now, but it's not staying. Mercury is going to be in Pisces. It'll start going backwards, where it'll stay in Pisces for the entire retrograde, and then it goes forwards again from the 20th of March. So it'll be the final 5 days, 4 or 5 days of February and the first 20 days, the first 3 weeks of March. Sorry, I've got some messages from Robin Tor, which I'm going to skip because the best messages just come in from Daldal. I'll go back to you guys. But Daldal says, and I would like for everybody to listen because, you know, it will be fine. It's kind of like a subtle threat, isn't it? But I really get that. Taurus, you guys, you have your own issues going on until April. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to discuss it. So Taurus have got their own issues. I am not messing with you guys. Oh, look who we've got watching. You're not going to believe it. Bigfoot Outlaw. This is Grizz, who runs the channel, has found time in his busy day to come and greet us. Grizz, we are discussing the Mercury retrograde, which is coming this month, this February, first Mercury retrograde of the year. And it's going to be entirely in Pisces. So I'm afraid because I'm a Pisces. Grace goes, I'm driving, so I'm guessing you can't see us. Yeah, you're obviously just listening to us. It goes, nice. Right, so let me catch up. Oh, and Tor is saying hi, Grizzly, with 2 hearts. Let me just catch up with the messages that I haven't read, and then we're going to go back to the retrograde because I don't want to lose those messages like I did on Thursday. On Thursday, we had such a record number of messages that I just ended up losing control over them completely. So I'm trying to stay on top of things. I've got Rob saying, I'm still tired from that night. I almost fell asleep, but I forced myself to stay up to be here. Thank you. Opposite. Yeah, well, exactly the same as me. But yeah, I'm going to be hitting the hay as soon as I finish here. Rob says, I am low Tor, EO and her little kitty. And Taurus says, stole my husband's snacks while I watch while he's snoring. Yeah, mine is snoring too. And Rob was saying, right, I would like to ask what my retrograde period is going to be like, please. So we're going to see, but just like I said that Taurus have got their own problems, in fact, the current Taurus problems are going to become Gemini problems when it switches. So we're going to talk about your issues very shortly, Rob. Taurus says, wait, I lost the whole thing. My phone is pre-gaming for the Mercury retrograde. That is typical. And Rob says, oh, hey, Taurus, same chat now. What? So, first of all, we were referring to Dal, who said, as long as Taurus is okay, everybody is okay. So in this specific Mercury retrograde, Taurus remains completely unscathed. Taurus is fine. So Taurus is not going to suffer too much with it. I think other sort of distant signs like Sagittarius should be all right. Capricorn will definitely be all right. There's a few main, let's say, victims. And Rob, I'm pleased to report that you will be one of them. I will be one of them. And if we've got any Virgos watching, you are too. So Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini. Virgo and Gemini, the reason that this Mercury retrograde touches you is because every Mercury retrograde touches you. The Mercury retrograde is, it happens with Mercury, from Mercury, and Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So every Mercury retrograde is news for you. I don't want to say bad news, but it's not good news. So the Mercury retrograde period, the whole 25 days of it, is a time when all communication goes up the creek. Any letters that you send will go to neighbors. Any emails that you send could end up with your ex from a decade ago. So anything to do with communication, you've got to be extra careful. Now, because Gemini is very communicative, then you've got like a huge output. You're always messaging people. A lot of them will not end up where they're meant to end up. And Virgo, because you don't like mistakes, you like for things to be organized, you like for things to be orderly. The fact that the Mercury period is so chaotic, that is not your, is not your style at all. And for me, Pisces, and Pisces and those who love them, because Mercury retrograde is in our sign, then all of those things will happen in quite a serious way for us as well. So anything communication, any application that you've got to fill up, any contract that you agree to, it's better to finalize it before or after. The bad news about the Mercury retrograde is that there's one coming around every kind of 3-4 months. The good news about the Mercury retrogrades is that they are short and they are over. The previous Mercury retrograde, my car crashed. Well, it's not fair to say I crashed my car. The Mercury retrograde before that, the car lost its exhaust. So I can tell you that I am not looking forward to what the retrograde has got in store for my new car that I treat like it is a baby. But the fact that this Mercury retrograde is going on in my sign, I can tell you I'm not thrilled about. The majority of the other signs, you should be all right. Aquarians should be all right. Aries should be all right. So not to worry too much. Rob says, I have enough problems. I really do. Give them to Tor. They are stronger than me. Much appreciated, Tor. He's, Tor's going to have his own things coming up anyway. I believe there's a Jupiter retrograde, which will be much more of interest to Taur. When is the Jupiter retrograde? Not long. I'm scrolling to find it. 10th. No, I tell a lie. No, Jupiter is retrograde right now. Yeah. I beg of you, Rob, do not envy Taur. Taur is a Sagittarius, and the ruling planet for Sagittarius is Jupiter, which they share with Pisces. And Jupiter is retrograde right now, all of January, all of February, and until the 10th of March. Yeah, until the 10th of March. So, never trade anybody else's fate. Never trade the fate. Tor has a very good question. He says, how is this going to affect legal stuff? Badly. So the Mercury retrograde touches on, like I said, contracts, legal stuff as well. However, because it's in Pisces, and Pisces is a romantic / emotional side, it could send legal stuff more the emotional way rather than the logical way. So if you're trying to get empathy from people in positions of power, that could actually be a good moment to do it. That could work in your favor. Roger Blair is saying, howdy, Inbaal. Hi, Roger. And from everybody. And Taurus says, this explains why I'm so bloody cranky. It would. So we've got the Jupiter retrograde now. I believe, so this is for Taurus, right? Delda, are you still here with us? So Uranus has been in Taurus almost all the time for the past 7 years. This made it kind of a tough time for Taurus because this planet deals with your identity. It's a planet of rebellion. It makes you want to do things that are not necessarily right for you. They're not necessarily good for you. Daldal is present. She says, I'm here. So this Uranus planet, is giving you a hard time and has been giving you a hard time for about 7 years. And this planet was also going retrograde until tomorrow. So if you have been feeling sort of doing things that are wrong for you, or wanting to catch up with like bad exes or anything like that, that desire is thankfully going to go away from tomorrow. So that's good. So Uranus will still be in Taurus, but at least going forwards rather than going retrograde. So that is good. And then, if I'm not mistaken, on the 26th of April, let me make sure I'm saying the right date. Uranus. Yes. And then on the 25th of April, well, sure, it was 26. Some stuff is like in US time and some stuff is in UK time. So don't worry about it too much. But a bit sketchy on my end. Let me know. So Daldal, 25th of April, that whole planet leaves you alone. It leaves you alone for like 84 years. So it'll very likely never bother you again. However, Gemini's present. That planet then moves into Gemini for like 7 years. So Tor says, the fact that Sailor Uranus has wind abilities has always tickled me. Haha. My Sailor Uranus also has wind abilities. Rob is loving it. Rob says, Tor, haha, that's so funny. Dal says, exactly right with a hard time, but I decided prison stripes won't look good on me. No, no, it's not the right vibe. I'm sure you'd look stunning, but it's not your vibe. Taurus does not belong really anywhere except for like a 5-star establishment. Taurus doesn't belong there. Not really good in barracks either. So you've made a good decision, and I am pleased to tell you that it'll soon be over. I'll tell you when I realized about that Taurus thing. A few months ago, when when Lily Allen released her new album, which is all about like the very challenging marriage that she's just come out of. um I was asked by one of the papers, I don't remember who, to have a look and see whether her astrology could have predicted it. And she's a Taurus. And I looked into this whole Taurus Uranus thing, and it really made my blood run cold. It's not so much that Uranus is like the worst planet, it's more that Taurus doesn't like chaos and confusion. Taurus likes to be comfortable and relaxed, possibly with their feet up, maybe with a big mug of something hot, marshmallows inside, maybe cream on top, but not like rubbish cream from Morrison's, like good cream. That's what Taurus wants. And when this planet comes and mixes it up, Taurus is like not on board at all. However, do you know who does like chaos? Gemini. So this planet moving into Gemini is not the worst. Is not the worst outcome. Rob says Mercury has had enough of you talking badly about it. Yeah, that's why the computer is not going well. So things that can break during the Mercury retrograde: computers, phones, any and all communication devices. Now, because we live during a part of evolution where everything happens on communication devices, then yeah, it's your laptop, it's your computer, it's your sat nav, it's the car operating system, it's the desktop, it's the I was going to say like Palm Pilot and iPod, but I don't think those exist anymore. But there's those smartwatches and all the things I don't have. And even if like your kitchen appliances run on like pre-programmed stuff, forget about it. Dal, speaking on behalf of Torian, says we like things transparent. Yeah, yeah. So it has been a challenging period for Taurus, but it is ending. The retrograde ending tomorrow, the rest of it ending towards the end of April. You can do this. You can survive until April. Tor, I think, is doing a funny voice. Are you doing a funny voice in your head? I heard it in a funny voice saying Uranus, Waldo shaking. Very good. So if we're speaking on all the retrogrades, let's have a look what else we've got. So we've got the Jupiter, let's roll back to February. So we've got the Jupiter in retrograde, which we talked about. We've got Uranus in retrograde, which we just mentioned. And we're going to have the Mercury retrograde. So I think this covers all the different types of chaos that we're going to have over the next few weeks. The Jupiter retrograde is, can you see me? Can you hear me? The Jupiter retrograde is in Cancer, so that will affect Sagittarius, Cancer, and a little bit Pisces. Uranus, I want to say, is the ruler for not Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius is Uranus. Sorry, very embarrassingly, I'm going to have to Google this because I don't use the outer planets as rulers. So Uranus governs Aquarius. Oh, yeah, I was right. So the Uranus retrograde will impact Aquarius and, of course, Taurus, but that's over tomorrow. That covers almost everybody. I feel like Capricorns are getting a bit of an easy ride for a change, but it's only because all the planets were piled up on Capricorn at the very start of the year. So that I was like, there's a few things happening in February, and then I spend half an hour talking about one of them. The other thing, the other very important thing that's happening in February is, of course, the Chinese New Year. So that happens on the 17th of February, which will also be an eclipse. It's all happening. We've got an eclipse coming up as well. I didn't even touch on it because we've got so much going on. So the Chinese New Year sees us come into the year of the horse. The year of the horse is about, actually, Tora, did we talk about going into the year of the snake like right here a year ago? So the year of the snake is nearly over. I hope you make it all the way to the end of it. The year of the horse is a year for kind of working on things that are already in place, establishing and cementing things that have already been in progress. It's a year that's known for being loyal, affable, hardworking. So if you're a person who is by nature affable, loyal, then it'll be an easy year for you. If you're somebody that does not like working hard, it might not be so easy. Tora says we did indeed. He says, would have been one of my last shows. I know, so mad. So the Chinese New Year is going to happen with the first eclipse of the year as well. I don't know why this whole month is so piled up. So we've got Valentine's on the 14th, of course. We've got Friday the 13th. Did I leave that out as well? Where is the February? Why am I seeing it? Yeah, we've got Friday the 13th. We've got Valentine's on the 14th, and Valentine's is said to be based on Lupercalia, a Roman festival, which is on the 15th. This huge pileup of astrological and or traditional events can be a little bit overwhelming. It's nice that it's all happening kind of over a weekend ish. It's a few days. Friday 13th, 14th, 15th, and then the Chinese New Year is like the Tuesday, so that we can rest a little bit when it's all going on. So Valentine's is based on a Roman festival called Lupercalia, was celebrated, but it's like, so when we look at like romantic dates, they're generally based on fertility festivals. And I don't know how to say this, but fertility is kind of the oldie worldy way of looking at romance, I guess. And during Lupercalia, people would whip each other with skins, whip each other with leathers. And when I say whip each other, it would be generally the men whipping the women. And it was kind of chaotic, and is it a wolf festival? Let's see what traditions we've got for Lupercalia. I've got a date book here. Folklore of Yorkshire, the Green Man. Oh, no. Let's see if this one has any information. I've got crystals falling from everywhere. What do we know? April 22nd of March. No, sadly the mainly UK ones don't have Lupercalia, which is a little bit of a disappointment. It's not exactly a pagan festival in the sense that we don't celebrate it as part of the Wheel of the Year. When we celebrate kind of traditional pagan festivals, it'll be the solstices and the equinoxes. It'll be Imbolc, which is day before yesterday. It'll be Lunasa, Beltane, and Halloween. So that is kind of the Wiccan and the Druid Wheel of the Year. But anyone that sort of loves their seasonal celebrations can add, I think, many ancient festivals. So Rob has got some information for us about Lupercalia, saying apparently sacrificed goats and dogs. Yeah. I was trying to sort of write up a little intro to Lupercalia for like a press thing. I was trying to sanitize it so that it didn't sound horrific. And I ended up with like a sentence and a half, because even like the whipping with leathers, the leather was borderline. The whipping was, completely out. I think there's something about like braiding the leathers. So I sort of turned the whole sentence into the braiding instead of focusing on like the whipping. Yeah, Tor is suitably horrified, saying, "Not the goats." I know. It was a different time. Rome was. I don't think any of us would have survived very well. Rob, on the other hand, is very positive about the year of the horse, saying, "I'm ready for this runaway horse. Let's go. Giddy up, giddy up." And with regards to Lupercalia, he says they whipped with goat skin, the women hoping to conceive. Yeah. I don't know how much the women were hoping to conceive as much as the men were, excited to play an active part in it. Everything is very borderline. How can I not have anything about Lupercalia here? I'll bet I do, and I just can't find the right one. The owls and many gods, what witches do. The Druid way, Druidry, history of magic. Maybe this one. Anyway, no, I'm not going to worry. Tor, it's saying, not wrong with a bit of whipping. True. Crafty says, that sounds sadistic rather than romantic. Yeah, pornography is geography. It at the time, that was what romantic stuff was. Tor, is that Santas? Tor is sending some Santas. I'd imagine. Yeah. I've got a couple here from Lady Thistle. Sorry, saying hello, Inbal. Happy late Inbal. Still Inbal. And giggling ahead. So Imbolc is the pagan festival, exactly polar opposite to Lammas, Lunasa. Imbolc is on the 1st of February, Lunasa is the 1st of August, and Imbolc is the date or the period when the first shoots, the first flowers appear. So you'd normally want to see, like in the UK, you'd normally want to see the snowdrops, the crocuses, little tiny white flowers. Because of where I am, kind of in the north where it's cold, um, I don't get those flowers for a couple more weeks. So for me, Imbolc is still coming. So it's not necessarily um, a belated Imbolc. For me, it's sort of perfectly on time. Dal is saying to Crafty, only man would create that, Crafty. Yeah, I get it. Rob says, I have comments I can't put here. I will behave. Uh, and Tor says oh, and Lady Thistle says, been doing a lot of spring cleaning. You are good. I have not. I'm going to have to wait for spring to properly spring before that happens. Crafty is lolling. And Tor is inviting Rob to put them in his DMs. Tor is greeting Lady Thistle. Rob is greeting Lady Thistle. And Lady Thistle is greeting the boys and says, I just had the urge. Oh, I envy that. She says, like, my spirit guides are like, get on with it. Yeah, I don't know. Mine never say that. But spring cleaning is, of course, a magic in itself. Clutter can be a real energy drain, can't it? I'm looking at my clutter and I'm like, you're draining. Clutter can be an energy drain. And when you want to create magic, at least the area that you're using to create magic needs to be all right. It doesn't have to be like super clean and tidy, but as much as you can. And when you come to create magic, even your body wants to be sort of as clean, as neat as possible, because you're kind of face to face with deities, kind of face with, gods. So you want to be as respectful as possible. Even if you're doing it completely by yourself, it is nice to be either just following like a ritual shower or, smelling nice for the gods. But yeah, I really envy the spring cleaning urges that you're getting. Earth has popped up out of the blue to say, I love you. Thank you very much, Earth. That is really kind. So we looked at a few things that are happening in February. We looked at the Imbolc that's just been, the eclipse. Did we say anything about the eclipse? So the eclipse that is coming up, which will be together with the year of the horse, the eclipse that's coming up will be when both the sun and the moon are in Aquarius. Making sure I'm not getting it wrong. And the sun and moon in Aquarius, and the eclipse, I think, might also be on Marcus's birthday. He's not watching because he's not feeling too well. And it's the first eclipse of the year. There's going to be another big eclipse 2 weeks later because they come in pairs. So you usually have a solar and a lunar eclipse 2 weeks apart. And so the lunar eclipse that we have first, that is a time for secrets to come to light, for mysteries to be discovered. Um, Lady Thistle says this eclipse is worrying me a bit. It's going to trigger my house of health, which I'm already struggling with, hoping it won't be too bad. I hope so for you as well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And, it's easy to say to just sort of make sure that you're on something preventative ahead of time, but just sort of be as grounded as you can during the eclipse. What it does, the fact that it brings secrets to light, I think when it comes to health, it's better to know than not to know, isn't it? If ever, like, your doctor is keeping a secret from you, that would be bad news. So for that to not happen is a positive. Uh, Crafty is saying about the spring cleaning. Guides may say get on with it, but I don't always agree. Yeah, I know. You just sort of go to your guides. Can you guys shush? Um, Earth says, remember, Capricorn is the star of Bethlehem. I love you and something know best. Very cute. Thank you. So during the eclipse, expect the unexpected. If you get communication from anybody, be careful opening it, because there is something about the eclipse that could also sort of be encouraging misinformation. Tor says, my main guide Felicia never shuts up. Consider yourself lucky. I think chatty guides are the best guides. Now, because both the sun and the moon during the eclipse are in Aquarius, Aquarius is a very selfless sign, wanting to do a lot for others, wanting to take care of others as much as possible. Aquarius also believes things, believes people. So during the eclipse, if you see stuff, if you are, sent information, if somebody tells you stories, don't automatically believe it. Don't get sort of drawn in by stuff that sounds interesting but is actually a pack of lies. I'm not saying Aquarius are liars, quite the opposite, but Aquarius will believe other people's shameless propaganda. So be careful of that. So those are a few of the things that are happening in February. I feel like I've really sort of made myself a bit cross-eyed with trying to remember all the different things, just so that you feel prepared for the month ahead. Now that we're a little bit more prepared, does anyone want to ask any questions from the tarot? So I've got 2 decks here with me, the same 2 decks as always. If you're new, I primarily work with the Thoth deck. The Thoth deck is so pretty, and I find it incredibly chatty, communicative as well. And I've also got the Rider-Waite-Smith deck here, the original, and so wonderful. I say that, not the original, obviously, because the Marseille decks were before, and Visconti's Faults and so on. But the first mass-produced deck, I guess. Dal says about Aquarians, saying they do. Poor Aquarius. You know what? They wouldn't change it for the world. I think Aquarians love being the way that they are. And if they take in a little bit of misinformation here and there, it's a sacrifice they're willing to take. Do you know what I mean? Or make. Tor says, so many things by Mariah Carey. Wait, is that Yes. So Doris says, I'd like to know if the two Barbie dolls are going to get their malarkey together. The tarot will know what I mean. Yeah, let's have a look. We're going to go with this because it is a straightforward question for a straightforward deck. So are two Barbie dolls going to get their malarkey together or not so much? They will. They will, but that will be following a whipping. Potentially by you and potentially a spiritual one. Cord magic. Candle and cord. It's a cord that needs cutting. But yeah, they will. They will. They are getting on top of things. Dal Dal wants to know, looking for a car? How's that going to turn out, please? So let's have a quick look. How's Dal Dal's car search going to go? It's going to go really well. It might take you 3 more weeks. See how we've got the number 20? Something, could it be 20 days? It might take you 3 more weeks, but it is happening. This is one of the nicest cards there are, and it shows like layers, how things change. This card comes up when friends become partners, when workmates become like business owners together. It's like a progression towards the next stage. So the car search might be aided and abetted by somebody who used to be just a friend and is now like closer. Lady Thistle says, if there is time, can you give me a good old general reading, please? Anything my guides want me to know? Absolutely, Lady Thistle. I'm gonna throw some cards down for you and see what comes up. Let's do a few. Right. Your cards are very interesting because I've put out a whole Celtic cross. Just the cross without the pillar on the side. But the first 3 to come up, so we're looking at 6 cards, right? The first 3 to come up were all ones. 8, 6, 3 of wands, all positive ones, but all ones. So there's a lot of action. You're being very active at the moment, and you feel like you're grinding your wheels a little bit, right? You're grinding your wheels a little bit, and the more you're active, the more you're working, the less results you're seeing. What this is saying to you is that you feel as if you're not seeing results. You feel as if you're not seeing results, but actually all the stuff you're doing does have positive outcome. All the stuff you're doing is getting you to where you're going. It just feels as if nothing is happening. So, chin up, keep being active, keep doing all the things you're doing. They are 100% definitely benefiting you. And we've got, look what a cute message from Nora Nicole saying 1111. Beautiful. Tor is saying the whipping happened. Very good, very good. It needed to happen. And Tor says, thank you. You're very welcome. Robert says, can I ask the tarot, please, how my meeting will go? Thank you. Let's see. There are good opportunities coming from it. So the meeting itself will be a little disjointed, a little uncertain. You'll come out of it thinking, oh, that didn't really fix anything. But it'll start a chain of events that will move you to where you need to be. So it'll be useful. Aisha says, Mavia, what kind of person is he? It's arranged marriage proposal from his mom to me. They are interested. It seems the son is a lot interested. What can you tell me about him? Let's have a look at this very interesting offer for you. What kind of person is he? Listen, He's a happy person. He's a loving person. He's gentle. He's intelligent. So obviously have a look at all the other bits of information that you can get from, alongside from the parents. But his personality is kind and generous. So that's a great start, isn't it? Um, Dal says thank you. Aisha says thank you for your time and energy for us. With love, with love. Um, Lady Thistle says, oh, I wanted to mention my father heard the horse trotting from Gwen riding off my roof. I have a witness. Amazing. For those of you that need to catch up, this is something that Lady Thistle had mentioned on, I think, mine and Laura's show, talking about hearing Gwen Upneath on her roof, and we were wondering if anybody else heard it as well. So it looks like a yes. And responding to all the hard work and feeling as if the hard work is not really sort of doing anything. Lady Thistle says, oh yes, well, studying a lot. So yes, she says, that sounds great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Taurus says, Lady Thistle, you're awesome. I agree. Robert says, thank you. Amy says, hi, good folks, just hanging out. Great to have you here, Amy. Thank you for bringing some positivity in. And Crafty is saying, what do you see coming up for me? Let's just take one card and that'll be the final reading of the evening. Oh, no. We're going to do Cam as well. Going to do Cam. Sorry, take it back. I just saw your question come in, Cam. Cam will be the final one of the evening. So Crafty is saying, what do you see coming up for me? Big love. There's literally like no different ways to interpret that. Look at that. I hope you're ready for it. It's the Ace of Cups. Big love. And actually, because Crafty says, and do you know my guardian angel's name? I'm so sorry. That's just not part of how I work at all. The guardian angel's name is something that is really, really sort of specific for spiritualist churches, which is not a place where I trained at all. Although, if any spiritual churches are around, love it. But yeah, that's like a real specific thing from there, and not something that I know my way around at all. I'm sorry. Lady Thistle says, thank you. You're all awesome too. And then now the final question of the night is from Cam, who says, what do you see happening in February for me? Thank you so much, Cam. Let's have a quick look at your February. Right. So this is the moon. Very nice with the eclipse, isn't it? And it's a journey. It's also a card of psychic development and connecting with your emotions and connecting with your like higher knowledge and higher beings and all of that. But it represents a journey. And I hope so much and pray from my heart that you get the transition that we were talking about, that you get the transfer that we were talking about. Aisha says, yes, I feel the same. I love that confirmation. She says, thank you so much. Robert says, oh, wow, went so fast. We all had so much fun. Thank you, me too. Thank you for spending this hour with me. Lady Thistle says, glad I caught you. Always miss this live. Aisha is saying hi, seeing you after so long. Lovely to see you, Aisha. And Amy says, Crafty, long that I'm Catholic here, told never ask for the name my whole life. She says, one just does not. So obviously, I'm not going to get in the middle of the different beliefs and that, but Rob has a good piece of advice here, saying, Crafty, have you tried asking the angel? Thank you, guardian angel, for revealing a name to me and then look out for standout names over the coming days. I agree. Even something like bibliomancy, just sort of open literally a book of angel names and seeing what it falls on. So thank you everybody for joining me. Starting to run out of time. I'm going to be here with Laura on Thursday and then next week as well. And after that, I'm going to be off for a week on holidays. So yeah, have an amazing week or a couple of days if I'm going to see you in between. And hopefully I'll see you the next time I'm here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Bye.